I want to ask a question about Atlanta. So you're from DC, but you call Atlanta home. You've been here for
since
pretty
'92.
much. Yeah. So recently, there's been a lot of issues in Atlanta. The untimely passing of Takeoff, to the Rico case with Young Thug, a variety of different things. And I even heard 21 Savage say like, the city is just not the same anymore. Like, It's like a dark cloud over it. The unpassing, timely death of AG's brother. A variety of different things that have happened, especially in the nightlife and in the hip hop culture. What is the vibe like in Atlanta right now from your perspectives? And is it a cloud over the city?
Atlanta's still the blackest city in America. I'm sure 19 Keys might think Oakland is. But I think it's the epicenter of opportunity. You know what I mean? When we used to look at New York and LA for being opportunity in multiple genres of business or multiple sectors of business, I think this is the place. Now that tech is heavily here, obviously with music, film, et cetera, et cetera. I think the youth is in a pivot like no other though. And I'm glad you asked that question because even one of my clients is Amazon. So I'm telling them as we identify, they have this thing called fresh finds. And I feel like Atlanta culture musically obviously comes, the fruit of that is, the tree of that bears the fruit is Outkast, Goody Mob. And honestly, civil rights to them, it was messaging. Everything Outkast stood for, Goody Mob stood for, had messaging in all of the initial thing. One, they wanted to represent their city properly. Two, they wanted to keep the core of culture involved in their music. That has gotten lost 10 times over, right? The beauty of this generation, though, is melodically and sonically, it's another melodic, it's incredible, but they're not saying anything.
It's a fact.
They're not saying anything.
Well, Little Baby is.
No, he's separate. He's cut from the old club.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And I'm sorry, I should have said that, but people who know me know, because I talk about this.
Yeah.
I'm always asked this question. But I think the majority,
that's a fact.
Right, led with the misogyny, destruction, drug culture, all of them. And now that, and it's ironic you brought it up because my manager, Derek Dudley, is doing a documentary on the DA's office. And they said since Thug and the YSL and the YFN crews have been locked up, the murders have gone down 35%. You know what I'm saying? So I think when you look at life and you look at where we are, Atlanta's in a reconstruction musically and who we are as a city. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm even encouraging my partners like Amazon or whomever I'm in business with that have a lens that leans towards music, is you have the opportunity to fix a broken music system here in Atlanta. You have the opportunity to project and amplify people that get messaging, because hip hop has always been messaging for us. There's always been clues, there's always been assignments, there's always been things that have been the soundtrack to our lifestyle. And this music is not a soundtrack to our lifestyle. For the first time in I think music history, we don't use this to grow from, learn from, and amplify from.
But the sad thing about it is it is a soundtrack to a lot of
that's what I was
kids' life.
No, not the majority.
Perspective is key.
Yeah, perspective
right? Because
is key.
You're looking at this now, right? And you're saying, the murder rate has gone down 35% from a parent and an adult and somebody who's been in this game for a long time. You've matured to the point of like, all right, I like that.
Yeah.
You can look at your son, he may be screaming out, free the guys.
Yeah, not really. But
no, I'm not saying hypothetically he could be, right? His age group might be saying
for sure.
Not realizing the overall impact that something like that could have had.
No, for sure.
Right? So the perspective there is different. So, I mean.
But the majority,
and
we always got to deal in the majority. The majority of black culture doesn't want death and destruction. The majority.
No, for sure.
The
they don't even understand it.
Yeah, or even to his point, like when you talk about glorifying, we grew up, fuck the police was like, they're beating the shit out of us. You understand what I'm saying? Fight the power was like, yo, we have the power. They come to, so my thing is now, I think there's that's why I love what 19 Keys and what y'all do as far as the speaking of life, like how you can own, how you can mature your assets, how you can, the knowledge is here, the information is here. All you gotta do is tap in.
You're part of the generation, the first generation that we've seen mature, and still we've had respect for, right? Because like hip hop, this is his 50th year. right? But we don't view the pioneers the same way we do as the next generation. I guess the guys from the 90s, right? Like they were able to grow old. They were able to go through life. They were able to mature. And so we can see that, right? Like this generation is now gonna look at y'all and us as like, oh wait, that's what we can be. Just like how Freaknik was a thing,
100%.
right? There was a generation of like, these kids are out of control.
Yeah. But not out of control, killing and women acting like men.
That's different.
No, but this is my thing. And this is for y'all, 19 Keys, the part of your crew I love and respect.
Part of your crew I love.
You know, y'all.
There's a part of our crew that you don't love.
David Shands I love. I don't know all their names, so I'm not gonna. But the point is, there's real progress being made in our community with platforms like this. You gotta blow the rest of the shit up. Y'all have to start like separating. Everybody's not gonna be here for the entire journey, bro. And it's on us, to your point. I got a whole project I'm working on. I'm not gonna say the name because somebody's gonna try to bite it, but I'm part of the problem. My generation is part of the acceptance of the bullshit. Not all of us from the standpoint of individually, but as a we accepted a lot. Why do you think half of these motherfuckers are out of control? Most leaders are out of control, right? You gotta respect, you don't have to do anything, but you respect hopefully what they brought to culture, but a lot of them are out of control. Most other half is dead, right? So you look at like, where do we wanna be?
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.